Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 95. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zach Huber.
And this is the podcast where we talk about movie and TV topics from the last week, get into you this week. And as always, we got a few exciting topics that are, I think, mainly superhero related stuff.
Yeah. Any of these topics that you're interested in are going to have time codes, so you can jump around. We are going to talk about the Gen V Season 2 trailer that came out a couple days ago. We got some updates about the Booster Gold TV show over at DC and Warner Brothers. We also have some context and we're going to hypothesize about the directions of where the X-Men is going from the director Jake Schreier, who did Thunderbolts. And Kevin Feige the other week had a big interview where he had a bunch of journalists from different trades in Hollywood over to discuss everything with Marvel. So we are going to get into that and things that he talked about. But the first thing that we're going to start off with is, do you really wanna? Do you want to taste it? Peacemaker Season 2, Trailer 2 came out.
Yeah, dude.
And I want to taste it all. I'm so excited for the show.
New intro.
So I don't know if you saw it, but at Comic-Con, they had Peace Fest.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite bands, which were the Mighty Crabjoys in Superman, by the way.
Nice.
Foxy Shazam, who I saw open up for Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco, like 2011, 2012 in DC.
Hell yeah.
They played, which I found out what the new song is, one of their songs.
Nice.
Is the new intro, and I was like, fuck yeah, I love this band. I mean, it's a great song. It's an amazing song. So
yeah, I hear it's going to be a bigger intro with like more characters and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah. I heard it's like a different vibe, but but like everybody knows that like this dance thing's happening, so it's not like it. Like I don't think who knows if you could ever like live up to that first one, but like
it was just like out of nowhere. No one knew what's going on. And we're like, oh my god, this is so charming.
And it doesn't even matter. Like I'm down for like a new dance sequence every season. Like I think the great thing about that date, I mean, we'll get to the trailer, everybody, but I do think that the great thing about that dance sequence is it's one of the great intros of a TV show, because every single time that you watch it, as the season goes along, you start to understand like the dynamics of the characters that you see on screen. Like you'll see characters that you've never seen before, or like have yet to know, and then it just kind of like, even the way that they dance with each other, and like
it's kind of telling. Right.
Like you start to like get an idea of how this all works together. And I just thought that was brilliant about the first one.
For sure.
Anyways, so the trailer came out, and it's official. We are getting into multiple universes.
The third property for the DC universe is already going to the multiverse. Which is pretty crazy, but I think it makes sense. Like you've already established that, like, one in Superman, you have these like pocket dimensions, right? And you established that already in the first season of Peacemaker. So now that Chris's dad is dead, he can go into that pocket dimension and do whatever he wants. So I think it's a natural progression.
I have a feeling that, James probably saw everything that happened at Marvel with the multiverse stuff and is like, look, we're not going to like go to that level of like multiverse craziness and convolutedness and like nothing matters. Like I would not be surprised if like the multiverse like only gets tapped in like every now and then. I could be completely wrong. I could be like, because like as much as there was a pocket universe in Superman, it wasn't like, and there's another version of Superman. There's another version of Superman. Like there's this, which like clearly to me, like this other Peacemaker and White Dragon and whoever the fuck else is on that mural next to him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's his brother, because his brother died, right? So like that's what I was thinking. Maybe that's his brother.
Whoa.
Which would be intense.
That'd be so intense.
Well, like maybe they are the heroes of this world, which is what I'm gathering. And like he's got this dope ass like peace cycle.
And this seems to all be in the new, like dimension, universe, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And like I think, I was listening to like the panel that they had at Comic-Con and some of the interviews that they had been doing, and kind of the theme of this season's like, when you think the grass is greener on the other side, and redemption and I think that's all like very intriguing, intriguing stuff to play with. Absolutely, especially because Chris, Peacemaker at the end, he thinks he saved the world, and it seems like he did, it doesn't really seem like from the trailer that he's getting much respect for it. So why wouldn't he want to go over to this other world and be
the hero you actually are, right?
Or think you are, and some stuff's going on with hardcore. It'll be interesting to see what.
Pretty in love with her this season, which I don't remember him being like. I remember him being interested, right?
I remember him being like very interested,
at least in the beginning.
No, I like at the very end where she's
the
like
very end too.
At the hospital bed, and he's like knelt down next to her because they had sex. Didn't they have sex or any? I can't remember if they hooked up or anything.
No, maybe there's no way. I don't think they did.
But like he seemed, I don't know. I always thought like he had an emotional stake in their relationship.
Yeah.
And hopefully, one of the things that I'm hoping about this season is like, Frank
Senior.
No, Rick. Sorry.
Sorry.
Not Frank. I'm thinking about Frank Grillo.
Yeah.
Rick Flag Senior. I hope we get and I think we absolutely have to get more depth to his character than we did in Creature Commandos and Superman. So I'm really interested to see like what goes on with him. And Tim Meadows' character is like the new task force leader of Argus, it looks like.
But from what I remember reading about Peacemaker season 2 was that like Rick Flag Sr. is the head of Argus now.
Right, but like Tim Meadows' character is like the new like task force sort of like he's not like the way that Amanda Waller was. He's like the way that who is the guy who was actually a butterfly? I think it started with an.
Oh, yeah. I remember him. He was the leader.
More like that.
Yeah. No, I love Tim Meadows too. He's such a great comedic actor. But I don't know if you noticed. I thought what was so interesting is that there's a point where it looks like Argus has like brought over or like forced over John Economos into their group. And right. And so like it looks like he'll be working with Judo Master again to take down Peacemaker.
Yeah. It sounds like from everything that I've heard that John Economos is like, he's not in as much trouble as like Abidio and Harcourt.
Okay.
So
interesting.
So he's like, he is like working for them, but like maybe is like a conflict of interest at a certain point.
I would hope so.
Because he's
Economist has got to have some loyalty. Yeah, exactly. Right. No, but I don't know if you noticed too that like Michael Rooker's character was behind Economos. And so he's going to be playing the character Red Saint Wild, who is Eagly's nemesis. So you got a good trio right there: Red Saint Wild, Judo Master, and Economos going after Eagle and Peacemaker. So that's a really interesting side plot. I'm gonna love to follow.
Excited.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I also did not know this. There's a new actress. I'm forgetting her name, but there's a new actress playing a new character who is from the comics, who is in this season. She's a metahuman, and funny enough, she eventually is the bodyguard for a very wealthy billionaire that we might know.
Was she in this trailer?
Now, she's in the show, and I think she is somewhere in the trailer, but I'm just saying it because the trailer came out and I learned a bunch of stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, and James Gunn did say that like we're going to be seeing more characters from Superman than like what we've already been shown in the trailers.
Yeah. So when he says that, who do you think is coming?
I have a feeling that like Guy Gardner,
there's like one
Guy Gardner's
big cameo.
Yeah. Guy Gardner's already in there. Yeah. I the only ones I can think of would be like maybe Metamorpho. I don't
know. When I hear big cameo, I'm like,
so you think it's like a major character?
It can only be one of three things.
Oh, so you think it's Lex or Superman or Lois or what?
Lois is big, but
do you think Mr. Terrific?
No, I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say?
I mean, I was just gonna say maybe a Batman, perhaps.
Oh, well, I thought he was saying characters like from the Superman movie.
There will be, but there's going to be a big cameo.
I would be genuinely. I would be so surprised if Batman is in this because I know they've been struggling to find an actor, or they haven't found an actor yet. Maybe they've been lying. I don't know. It's possible.
Now, it might just be that it's a cameo from like the Superman movie, and in that case, I think it's either Lex or it's Superman. Right. And James did say, well, I mean, the next time you'll see Superman, I wouldn't say it's like in a sequel per se.
Yeah.
And I would say like, well, maybe that's the next time that you would see him.
It's possible.
I mean, he did, and he was talking a bunch of trash about Superman in the Superman movie.
Yeah.
So how fun would it be if you had Superman show up in Peacemaker?
No, yeah, it would be very fun. It'd be very fun. I don't think James Gunn was referring to this project when he said he was like writing a sequel type movie for Superman, or that there's going to be a sequel movie, but it's not a direct sequel. You know what I mean?
Well, today he said that he is writing a sequel, and I know that there is a sequel type movie. Right. Or like that you would see him in a like somewhat sequel, and I don't know, he might show up in this.
Yeah, maybe it's a true cameo where he doesn't have like much to do, and it's just a fun like appearance. I
mean, we got Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller in the first one, so I don't know what's.
You're right. And now he's like the head of the studio, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants with that character.
Right.
No, yeah, but I think like the concept of this trailer and the story like works so well for me, where he's like he's longing to be celebrated as the hero he thinks he is. He wants to be in a relationship with Hardcore. He wants life to be perfect, but life just sucks. He can't even get into the Justice Gang. And so, yeah, he goes into this really wonderful dimension where he's got a bike and there's people with jetpacks, and he's got his own jetpack. And I don't know, I'm just very excited to see, like, and he fights his own self at one point. Like, I think the story can just write itself at this point. And it's a really exciting concept. I don't know if you also saw that, like in reference to like the dimensions or like universes, James Gunn I think he said that they have like 100 universes kind of established in their lore or whatever. And I loved seeing the glimpse of that like hellish universe with like the skeleton spiders. I was like, what
I forgot
was
about
going
that.
on in there? Yeah. And then like Tim Meadows' character's like, I'm not going in there.
I will say, if they do a little like open up one of those doors and I get to see I don't know, like if I get to see, let's say like what would be exciting?
What about like Christian Bale, Batman?
They could never get that. But I was gonna say, like, if I could see like a glimpse of like a Kingdom Come, or like a glimpse
you're
of
thinking like new stuff. Okay.
like a Dark Knight's return, or like some Flashpoint paradox thing going on. Like if I could just, or like Dark Knight's Metal, or some crazy comic reference story, like a Gotham by Gaslight, or that would be sweet, and I think that would be like the appropriate time to do it.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
We'll see.
No doubt.
We'll see.
Because you only have to show a glimpse of it, and then we'll be like, oh, maybe we'll go back to that, and that's fun. That's fun enough for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's coming out August 21st, so about 3 weeks we gotta wait for this one. But yeah, I'm incredibly
gotta rewatch that whole first
excited.
season.
Oh yeah, I gotta. You're right. Only 8 episodes.
And listen to the podcast. Listen to the podcast too.
Did we review that on here? I already forgot.
No.
You mean the podcast? They have a podcast coming out. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
When did that come out? The first season.
2021.
Wow, it's been that long. That's insane. 4 years to wait for a second season. It would. I think it.
I mean, a lot happened. A lot
has happened behind the scenes. You're right. But yeah, next we have another season 2 trailer we want to talk about. This one being Gen V, and it's also the second trailer, just like Peacemaker was.
Right.
A lot of twos. But yeah, I think this
great
this
observation.
Trailer,
Great
thanks,
observation.
Man. Thank you. This trailer definitely like gives you a more of a sense of what's going on than the first trailer did. I think we got some glimpses, but this trailer immediately starts off with Marie being on the run at a motel. She gets attacked by a random soup, I'm assuming, and Starlight
was giving like there was some like growling, like some sort of like tiger power thing, but like I also,
like a wolf the way he was something,
which if it was a wolf would be fun, because I was gonna say that he kind of gives Bucky Barnes vibes. So if we want to call him like White Wolf or something, that would be pretty.
And I could be wrong, but like the guy's face, the actor who played that guy, it looked like the actor who voiced Arthur Morgan in Red Dead 2. But
I wouldn't know.
It might not be. Yeah, I've just been seeing a lot of interviews with him recently. But yeah, Starlight, it makes her first appearance in Gen V. She's basically saying that she needs Marie to go back to college. There's another plot going on. They've opened up the research facility. They're working on Project Odessa. We don't know what that is, but it needs to be stopped.
I have a theory about.
I do too.
Some of it.
I feel like.
What's your theory?
Well, it's not about what it is, but more like where they got the basis for it, and I'm assuming it's Andre. Like I think.
Oh yeah.
I think they did something to Andre, and now he's like the ground zero for this new project or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, was that your theory too?
No. Okay. But I was gonna say at one point the new dean says if you're pushed to your breaking point, you can level up. And I got
that's so funny, yeah.
And I got this I got the feeling of in like Deadpool and some like mutants, they like are pushed to an extreme, and then the X gene activates, and then they get their like mutant powers. Like I know they already have their powers, but I'm just curious
they can
if
evolve,
this is
maybe.
yeah, like I'm curious. It is a school.
Mhm.
They are young people.
Yep.
It's giving X-Men vibes. We already have like a who would you like not, her name's not Emma, is it? Who's the blonde
that
girl?
goes small?
No, the blonde girl who's like can,
Kate?
like whisper and like she already gives like Jean Grey-ish vibes or like I forget which X-Men I compared her to. But or like a kind of like a Professor X vibe in a sort of way, but what if they're pushed to their breaking point and they have like they activate this thing that like Compound V can do to somebody? I don't know. Maybe
that'd be cool. It'd be cool. I mean, like he even says to Marie that like she can be the most powerful soup in the world.
I wonder if that's a misdirect. Like, I wonder if they're actually talking about somebody else. Like, because at one point she says like stronger than Homelander, and like I kind of feel like when we see the actual show, the conversation will be like Homeland, like more than Homelander, and they'll go, I mean, not that, but
I think my thought is that he'll say that just to manipulate her. Like, even if he doesn't believe it, he's like it seems like he wants Marie to be like his new shining project or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I think he seems very intimidating, manipulative, mysterious. I'm definitely and like really liking the new. I think his name's Dean Cypher.
Right. Cypher.
Yeah, I'm into it for sure. I think what's also like neat about this trailer is they definitely show, like, I wasn't expecting Sam. It seems like Sam is back on their side at points in this trailer. Like, there's a confrontation he has, I think, with Emma, where he's like, I want this like all be done, and like Marie's kind of talking to them, like all of them saying this is all bigger than all of us, and Sam's right there, like in that scene. So I'm wondering how he kind of like maybe shakes off the brainwash that Kate did to him in season 1.
Kate, that was Kate. Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. Oh, I guess you didn't hear me.
Kate.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But yeah, we get, some cool other cameos. Like we get the Deep and Black Noir in this. Yeah, we get.
I mean, it feels like it's Boys 4.5 is what it feels like.
Yeah, because we're basically in the era of like season 5 now.
Which, like, I wonder how is Starlight? Didn't Starlight? No, Starlight flew away. Remember?
Yeah, Huey got arrested.
She flew off.
Yep.
How is she? Yeah, I know that would be interesting. I'd love to know what she's been up to, but
she's more on the run than Marie is.
Yeah. They're like, why are you on the run? Why are you here? Like,
and speaking of Marie, like, I'm very curious how like she got out and was on the run, and the others were kind of like shipped back to Godolkin. Remember in that first trailer, the others were like,
yeah. I mean, she is a lot more powerful than them.
Sure,
so I mean,
they're. But and I like the drama that stems off it, where she's apologizing in the trailer for like leaving Jordan and the rest of, like, it seems like her and Jordan have like a real beef at first. And they even show them like fighting in the ring, which I think is going to be a cool fight to show. But yeah, I'm really into the new, I guess, plot of this season.
Yeah. No, this is a lot more interesting than the last trailer, which really did not give me as a viewer very much to go off of.
Right.
But I will be happy as long as this season has finds a way to continue this story in a way that, like, I think it'll be a success in its own right.
Yeah.
That if they can create a good or interesting story, with the fact that like one of their main cast members, is not going to be returning, and if there's a way to work it in where it's like a big part of the plot, like,
right,
that'll be a success.
For sure.
And it's a success that they're even like doing it. I mean, again, like the way that I fall on the spectrum of stuff is, you know, like you're honoring the character and the actor by continuing on the character because, you know, so like that's how I feel. But, you know, they went with this decision, and I just hope that by everything that I'm seeing, it looks like they're like full throttle. Like we got this crazy story. And I'm very excited, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited too.
For sure. And I think this one actually comes out, I can't remember the exact day, but it's like mid-September, I think. So we're really close to Gen V season 2. I will say I love season 1 so much. I'd be shocked if it was better, but
I really like season 1. I really like season 1. I would be open. I did think it was so good, but I would be open to an even better season.
Okay. Yeah, look, I hope it happens.
I think there's a possibility that a second season could be even better.
I hope so.
But we'll see.
Sophomore year's coming. But yeah, I think that's it for the trailers we wanted to talk about. But yeah, we got some news about the Booster Gold series that we kind of thought was kind of dying for a little while there. But yeah, basically David Jenkins, who is I think the showrunner from Our Flag Means Death, he is going to be writing the pilot for Booster Gold, and if it's picked up for a full series, he will be the showrunner. You are the Our Flag Means Death fan, so I want to hear your thoughts on this kind of move.
I mean, I think this is great. I mean, if I know you haven't seen Our Flag Means Death, but I mean, in a nutshell, it's an R-rated, like Office, but they're pirates. But it's also a romantic, like it's also like a man finding purpose / like love story.
Okay.
And it's so disarming because when you start watching the show, you're like, oh, this is fun and lighthearted. But then there'd be these moments where it's like shit gets so real and so like dark and violent, and it starts to take on this new like kind of tone. And as the story progresses, it gets even more emotional and beautiful, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, there you go.
So that's what
I want from a show.
That first season is so good. And you know, I may not know a ton about Booster Gold, but the idea of this guy from super far in the future,
like
was
1,000 years
like
or something,
was a very successful like future equivalent of a football star using technology to go back in time and kind of be
because he wanted to be his own superhero,
right? And so he's using this future technology, and he's kind of a goof, and he's kind of vain.
I'd love to see, like the start of the show be like lighthearted, funny, you know, a little emotional weight where he's kind of depressed and wants to be a superhero, and then he goes back in time and you know, we start to see him like deal with real shit, you know, like real shit a superhero has to go through that he wasn't expecting.
Right.
And you know, and then you know, and like to your point, like just like how Our Flag Means Death kind of gets dark and real at points, like that's what I think that's what I want. So yeah, I mean that sounds like an amazing choice, to be honest.
Yeah. I really hope that this plot or this pilot will, you know, get the works and gets picked up, because I would love to see more from this guy.
I would be surprised, honestly, though, if like a pilot script goes forward that James Gunn likes, then doesn't get picked up. Like I would be pretty surprised. But
I think the pilot's being written, so I mean, you still have to like okay.
I feel you. Right. But he's gonna okay the pilot script, you know, to be shot, and then they'll pick up the series after if they think the pilot's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But yeah, like I think that, you know, I could imagine either the pilot going like half the episode is his life in the future, and then the other half is like him going into the past, or like
right.
the entire episode's the future, and then the very end is like him like ending up in the past, and some like crazy thing happens that he wasn't like prepared for. And like, yeah, I agree. Like if you can handle it being comedic, but not super like slapstick, and
right.
but and like give it some like drama still, and then also be met with like a gruesome reality, or like some sort of like real life, like real world like thing happening, like you said, like,
yeah,
I don't know, it could be great. And I mean, like, so far we've had Penguin, we've had Peacemaker, we're getting Peacemaker season 2, which has been nothing but like, at first, like I was like, Peacemaker season 1's the best DC TV show that I've probably ever seen. Penguin
came out.
Potentially better, even better.
Yeah, it was.
Lanterns is happening.
Yeah. Oh, bless you.
Well, and
we had Creature Commandos.
Thank you. Yeah, Creature Commandos. So I mean,
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah, no, but it's we have a great run of DC shows at the moment.
So it would be fantastic to get even more.
Right.
Like if you say that this is like gonna be on HBO, like it's of a quality, and
true,
just like how Lanterns is, and I would love that, because you know I think HBO makes some of the best TV shows. So
they do.
I really hope this happens, because I would love to see this. I think Booster Gold, as much as like, again, I don't know a ton about him, I think that's a hero, that's a character, comic book character that
it's just automatically like an exciting concept. Right.
Yeah. And like, yeah, let's see it. You know, everybody's seen so many different characters from comics and heroes from comics. This is an entirely different type of character, just like how Star-Lord felt like a very different type of a character.
True.
So
yeah.
Will Chris Pratt play him? Probably not.
I honestly hope not.
Gotta get somebody younger.
Yeah, that's what I'm wanting somebody like late 20s, early 30s. Yeah, I want somebody. I mean, I get it. Like Chris Pratt has like really great comedic timing. If you want him to be in the right role. And I think this guy needs to be like somewhat of a comedic actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want somebody new. Yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, next we also wanted to talk about how Jake Schreier is now confirmed to be directing the next X-Men movie. He is the director of the Thunderbolts movie that unfortunately didn't do so great at the box office, but did great critically. And I think that's why he's still being given another movie. So I'm not upset at all about this.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I'm kind of tired of these articles that come out and they're like, you know, after the disappointing, you know, flop of Thunderbolts, you know, that Thunderbolts was such a flop. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, like, it didn't do as well in the theaters as people would have liked. But what do you expect after just putting out, Brave Captain America and like
3 months before,
you know, all these other movies that like these are a bunch of characters from. I mean, granted, like this is the movie's fault for having characters that nobody's really seen before or were from like other projects, but like there's a lot of other stuff going into that. It might have been a flop, but like the movie was received incredibly well.
Right. And I think it's unfortunate because like it didn't matter how well the movie was written or directed, like it just wasn't going to be a huge hit. And I think like for all those reasons you said, like I think Fantastic Four is doing so well is because like it's like
for one,
but it is like being critically received pretty well, but like yeah, the IP is so well known that people are just going to go see the Fantastic Four because people like the Fantastic Four. Nobody knows who the characters in Thunderbolts are.
Right.
And I think what's nice is that they're giving him like a flagship property with the X-Men. Everyone loves the X-Men, and you know, obviously if it's written well and directed well, it's going to be a huge hit. And so
Right.
combining him with the X-Men, I think is a no-brainer. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was he was talking to the playlist, and he didn't give a ton of details, but I thought there was a couple things that were interesting that I wanted to kind of go over, and I feel like starts to shine a light on maybe the direction that they'll be going with the X-Men. So he said, without going into too much, really almost any detail, what I can say is it's just inherently interesting and complex material, and then went on to say it's an incredible opportunity with super interesting characters with a lot of internal conflict. These characters are wrestling with their identity and place in the world, and that's inherently interesting and complex material.
It is.
And
indeed.
the other thing that I wanted to mention is we'll talk later about Kevin Feige had a lot to say about the state of Marvel and what's going to happen. And one of the things that he brought up is that he said that, X-Men have been traditionally kind of focused on the youth and have been a youth-centric, young person kind of franchise, or at least comics have been geared towards in the comics. And I think a lot of that has to do with, mutants with puberty, getting their powers around puberty, feeling like an outcast. Right. People finding their place in the world, how they relate in the world, and I think a lot of the character, you even have it built into like Xavier's School for the Young and Gifted, so it's all baked in right there. And he basically was talking about that, Jake Schreier, he's very much more tapped into the youth than like I am, and right. I think he said that Thunderbolts is. It really touched on that. And I would agree with that. Like, I think if you're a Zoomer and you watch Thunderbolts, like, right. You're crying. You're like, oh my God, that's me. Right. And I think that that's very true. So all that to be said, I don't know if they're gonna go like every character is gonna be like, young 20s to a teenager, but I think there will be at least 1 to 2 that are, and that this, regardless, you're looking at people in their 20s to late teens, comprising of the X-Men.
Yeah, and I don't disagree that that's probably what it could be, but I really wouldn't mind an X-Men movie where like just think of the first X-Men movie, but from the point of the view of like the students, right? Like or like the first 2 X-Men movies, whatever you want to say. And I've always had that like idea of like for a long time that like we should be focusing on like Rogue and Iceman and like as students and Jean Grey, if you want to like throw her in as a student, or I don't know, like what era you want to go to. But I think I think there's so many rich stories you can tell like in a superhero school setting. I think it's I've loved it every single time. Like I used to watch My Hero, and I think that was a great like few seasons that I watched. I think Sky High is like a great nostalgic trip to go down. I think Gen V is another great like new example of it. So I really love the idea of like it being from the students, and that like all the teachers and like Professor X are more like supporting characters in a sense. I don't know. What are you thinking about that?
I mean, I think maybe at some point something like that could come down the road, but the first X-Men movie, I think it's if you're saying this is the you're saying this is the X-Men, this is the team of X-Men. Like you're right. You're right. I don't know. Like to me,
it has to be like future X-Men or something, or
like New Mutants or something, something like that.
Something like that. You're right.
like, I don't disagree with you. I'm saying, like, what I think
I think that story would be really
these,
refreshing for X-Men, but yeah.
I think the idea of like our Scott Summers, our Hank McCoys, our Jean Greys, whoever else you want to include on the team, being a student, you know, you could still see them as students, and then, you know, turning into X-Men, turning into like,
I love that,
becoming that team.
For sure.
Like, that could be really interesting, and I would love to see them as students, because you don't really ever get to see that in a lot of the movies and properties.
Yeah, we kind of got it with the last few X-Men movies, but they weren't very good. So,
well, there you go. To be fair, I've never seen Dark Phoenix. I've never seen Apocalypse.
Oh, well, that's where you get like Nightcrawler and Jean Grey and a bunch of others like as students at the school. So
yeah, but like, I would like to see that. I think I think it would be cool. I don't know how you would fit like a Logan, like a Wolverine into all of that. Maybe
he could never be a student, unfortunately. I mean, he's a full-grown adult all the time.
maybe he showed up at some point during the movie, like as like a catalyst to the plot. I don't know. Maybe because like, I find it hard to believe that they're going to make an X-Men movie without a Wolverine.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I think the only reason they would do
like,
that,
as much as like somebody will debate like he wasn't even in the original like 5 or 6 characters, you know, like it was just Cyclops and I can't even remember the rest of. I don't even know if Storm was in the original like 5 that they had. But like, he is for now and until you know, to be determined, like it will have to be in every X-Men project, you know, like it doesn't matter, you know.
They're saying it's Professor X, Jean Grey, Beast, Cyclops, and Iceman.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think that Storm was in the original like 5 or 6 or whatever it was. So
yeah, that's fair.
But I think it's I mean, like, yeah, I mean, maybe the complexity is not, you know, like, it doesn't give a ton away, but I do think that maybe it points to where you're gonna focus on, you're gonna get back to how they relate to this world, and whatever happens post Secret Wars will most likely be a world where the humans have not liked the mutants, because that is a core idea to the entire to all the characters. And
it's so interesting, because like I expected like the X-Men to like mutants to gradually kind of get their way into the MCU, but it doesn't seem like that's the plan anymore, you know, because it felt like they were doing that with Kamala. Like, they even like at the end of her show like played the little X-Men theme in regard to her being like a mutant. But yeah, now it just feels like we're gonna soft reboot after Secret Wars, and somehow that's gonna change the world where mutants are around and the people hate mutants, and which I'm not opposed to. I mean,
you're right. I mean, and we could be wrong. I mean, there was a certain point in Fantastic Four where I was like, and that's how they're gonna get into the, you know, 616 universe, and then it didn't happen. I was like,
you're right.
Oh, okay. So how is this gonna happen? And
I thought I did think that too, but
I literally, I know we're off topic, but like, I remember that happened, and I just went, oh my God, that's not, you know, and you know, Hannah's just looking at me, and she's like, what's
going on? I was very surprised that there wasn't like any kind of bridge between that end credit scene of Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, but
I don't know. I'm very excited. I love that Jake Schreier is going to be taking this over.
Agreed.
I'm sure, like, I think going younger, maybe not like Fantastic Four, like Fan-Four-tastic 2015 reboot, like Babies
no.
is like the best way to go. But like, I think younger will be cool.
Yeah.
Like maybe you get a Jubilee or something.
I still want I still want Professor X and like Magneto to be older, you know.
Yes.
I think that's important.
But
for
like
me
in their
at this
like
point.
maybe in like their 50s.
Sure.
Or,
Not as old
know.
as like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen at the beginning of X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah. But they
That's
were
fair.
probably only in their 60s.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. Either way,
it doesn't totally matter. But yeah,
50s would be cool. Even 40s. I could go with 40s.
I could go with 40s. Sure. That's fine. But yeah, we're not going to see this one for quite some time. He's, I think, just now starting to write the script. Or no, wait, is he even writing the script? I don't even think.
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. I think we've been starved of X-Men content for a little while now, and I mean, yes, we did just get the show, to be fair, but X-Men 97.
Yeah,
but some live action content, I guess, is what I'm saying. So
right.
We will be getting it somewhat soon, but along those lines, we also wanted to speak on Kevin Feige's most recent interview, where he discussed a lot of the MCU's future plans and different corners of the universe. So yeah, but wasn't sure where you wanted to start with all of this.
Well, I think we'll just start with so he was having this kind of round table sort of interview with a bunch of journalists in Hollywood, and he was talking about the future and what they're going to do at Marvel. And so I'll just start, somewhere. We'll see. Let's see.
Okay.
So
where are you going to land?
So with regards to Secret Wars, and this will get into some of the recastings. What he said, we're utilizing that story not just to round out the stories we've been telling post Endgame, just as importantly. And you can look at the Secret Wars comics for where that takes you. It very much sets up for the future. Endgame literally was about ending. Secret Wars is about beginnings. So I think that kind of feeds into the idea that like this is like a reset. I know he was kind of hesitant to say that, like he said, reboot is a scary word. Reboot can mean a lot of things. Reset, singular timeline. We're thinking along those lines. And then he said X-Men is where that will happen next. So
he's basically confirming that X-Men is like the next movie after Secret Wars. It sounds like.
I mean, it sounds like that,
which is great. I'm very happy about that. And I think that's like a great spot to like reset the tone of your universe. Like you're introducing a lot of new concepts. Mutants and mutant hate, and a bunch of new characters. So yeah, I think that's a great spot to land.
Yeah. So I think the idea of this like singular timeline, getting rid of all the multiverse, that's very much what is going to be happening.
Right. Because people are already a little sick of the multiverse,
But along those lines of having a reset, he indicated that other Marvel characters will eventually be recast, including Tony Stark and Steve Rogers. And he was talking about how Amy Pascal are now searching for a new James Bond. David Cornsweet was the new Superman. And that, he said, quote, I think it's hard for anybody to do that when an actor has done such a great role. How are they going to ever replace Sean Connery as James Bond? Right. But it sounds like, we are at some point, who knows when, but at some point we will be getting a Tony Stark and potentially a Steve Rogers, which is, I
think that's going to be hard to do, to be honest.
Well, the thing that's really hard is like I want to circle back to this about recasting, but he said that they have plans going all the way to 2032.
Yeah, he's got a 7-year plan right now.
And I want to say, like, I've loved the MCU, but I have to say, sometimes, I'm very prepared to eat my words. Like, if we want to start to be like, the MCU is the new Star Wars and it'll be around for 50 plus years and like still going. You know, and it just needs to get past this like 20-year mark to like to become like this is it, this is the thing, and we've been following it just like how Star Trek's been going on since the 60s. Like, fine, I guess I can do it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I mean, how much longer can you have this thing just keep going to the point of like we're resetting the entire MCU in a way where you get a new Tony Stark, which, yeah, like it is kind of necessary at a certain point. Like you kind of would like to have those characters back, but yeah, how do you even do that? I don't know.
I agree. I think it's so ambitious because like I think he's even seen in this last couple of phases that like it's so hard to stick to like a plan if like things go awry at all. And I, you know, and in regard to like the Tony Stark and like Captain America being recast, I think it's possible, but like especially Tony Stark has been like Robert Downey Jr. is so iconic in that role. It's almost impossible to like do a better version or just as good. And so like, how do you work those characters in? It's a crazy challenge that he has ahead of himself.
I think he said to himself, like James, like, how are you going to replace Sean Connery?
Right.
How are you going to replace Christopher Reeve? They're doing it. I don't think it's impossible.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's not. But
what makes it
Iron Man's just
what makes it
so hard,
more difficult is that it's still the same
universe
franchise in a way.
Right.
I should say universe, like you said. Like it's still the same.
Because it's not going to be a full-on reboot
thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be I think it's going to be a soft reboot where it's technically the same MCU, but things have drastically changed and some characters might stick around, some might not. And then you're going to ask us to buy into new actors playing the same character. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know how audiences will react. It's going to be a challenge for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And then we also got a little bit about Kang and Doom.
That's right. That's right.
This was interesting. So he said even before what had happened with Jonathan Majors, we started to realize that Kang wasn't Thanos, which, yeah, he wasn't. He was not living.
But like,
go on.
Yes, he's not. I don't know. Like at that point in time, like, when you made the move, you had written one of the worst movies of all time, and drastically diminished what Kang was, in my opinion. So because of that move, yes, he's not Thanos. But I think his couple of appearances in like Loki, I thought were so like interesting and I don't know, like it just is such a different direction for Thanos, but still being like incredibly intimidating and powerful that like you can build that character up for, from 2021 up till 2026. And yes, because you had a bad move, you're not going to keep doing that because now audiences don't want to see this villain. But I don't know, if they hadn't messed up, like I think this villain really could have worked.
I agree. And then, basically said there was only one character that could be that, because he was that for decades, and that was Doom. And we had started talking about Dr. Doom before we officially pivoted from Kang. In fact, I'd started talking with Robert about this audacious idea before Ant-Man 3 even came out. Is that true?
Feels like you're saving face a little bit, but
maybe, but we'll see. I mean, like, this was probably around the time where like he was starting to get his power back, away from Bob Chapek. So maybe, but I agree with you that Kang could have been this really great villain. Unfortunately, you did have what happened with Jonathan Majors, and true. But there is a part of me that's like, even if the stuff with Jonathan Majors, I don't know. It's tough. But like, even if the stuff
Yeah.
with Jonathan Majors didn't happen, I do wonder if they would think about moving away from that at all, because he, like, let's say that the Quantumania movie came out and nothing controversial happened with Jonathan Majors, and you're just like, dang, this guy just got beat by a bunch of ants, like I don't know, maybe would you pivot? Maybe. I don't know how much the like Jonathan Majors thing had to do with it.
Right.
I don't know.
And here's the thing, like, I agree with him that like Doctor Doom is probably a stronger villain for like your next Avengers movies, but like,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Why did you not realize that, and before you wrote the whole Phase 4 and 5 plan or whatever? I don't know. They messed up big time for sure.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bummer when you go back. I think if you ever go back through like Phase 4 and 5 and realize, oh yeah, they were like full on leading up to a Kang story, and then I don't even know if we're ever gonna get like a payoff. I mean, it might not ever like officially end.
No, I think it was all wrapped. To me, it was all wrapped up in Loki season 2. It was all wrapped up. It was like we've been hunting down the rest of the Kangs. We had him. Like the whole thing's been fixed with the Loki taking over the timeline, and
right.
We're not gonna like erase these timelines. We're just gonna let them fade out. And
yeah,
to me, it just felt like that was it, and we're moving on. Personally,
he's just like so many of them still out there is the thing, But yeah, no, I get you. It isn't a bad spot to end it, but yeah.
Could you have a scene where like Doom is like in that big field and all these different Kangs are just like, you just see all these like hooded blue faced guys like all dead on the ground? Yeah. I mean, like, look, any way you
I think that would be a cool introduction for
disappointing.
Doom, to be honest. Like, he's the one who's killed all these Kangs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd be into it.
Yeah, it is disappointing, but like, to me, it's seeming more and more and more that there's the the 23 movie and like Infinity Saga,
right,
which is like the first book of the MCU, and then phases 4 through 6 are just like
book. Right.
No, it's not even the second book. It's like the epilogue of the first book.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
And then you're gonna start a whole new book with like post Secret Wars. That's it. Just
That's a really
like,
long epilogue for sure.
Absolutely, but it's like not much.
I don't disagree.
Happened.
Yeah, I agree. No, I feel you. I mean, it's like
but at the same time, a bunch of stuff has happened. But
we had multiple trilogies within the MCU's Phase 1, 2, and 3. And in this Phase 4 through 5 and 6, like, we've just gotten single stories. I mean, every single, like, we had Shang-Chi. Like, if Shang-Chi were to have come out in Phase 1 through 3, he would have had a trilogy by now. But he's been in nowhere since. I mean, like, not even in another like movie. So I don't know. They just it was a mess of these last couple of phases and just introducing way too many characters.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of goes into that in the interviews.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he said like we're gonna keep the TV shows separate for the most part. Like, you might have a character from a TV show show up in a movie, like very much in point with John Bernthal showing up in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Yep.
But for the most part, it's going to be just how the Fantastic Four was. No homework movie, no homework show.
What's so funny
jump in
to me,
if you want, jump in. You don't follow it if you want to.
They're very much reverting back to what Phase 1 through 3 was, because all you had in those phases, but you had the 23 movies and then you had the Netflix shows. Like, and that was that was just the street corner of the MCU. And like, that's exactly what they're reverting back to. You have Daredevil and Punisher special And I think like after Vision Quest and Wonder Man, I don't know if they'll continue those, and I think they'll just stay to street level, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see.
Because they just don't want to do
for
homework.
me, like that Kevin. Yeah, I agree, but like I think that like Kevin Feige, like people give him a lot of crap about like phases 4 through 4 and 5, but to me, like the people should give like should be mad at like Bob Chapek because he's the one who put the mandate on everything and stretched everybody.
No,
so thin.
Bob
so,
Chapek
like,
is the worst for sure.
I think. Yeah, like there is a degree of like, okay, maybe a little too much homework was being done, and they've kind of learned that lesson
a little bit.
So I'll put some, you know, like
and
I think there's some responsibility
being introduced because like so many storylines just are never going to go anywhere. Like the Scroll War is never going to happen. It's just, and that is
no,
like,
I don't think we'll ever talk about that.
It's the biggest like drop storyline I've ever seen in the MCU. Like that's a world changing event, and you're just like, well, whatever. Yeah, you know?
Is it bigger than Arsham the Judge showing up?
I think I don't think. I think it's bigger in a sense where like
it affects more people like in a day-to-day
over
life,
a continuous,
you know?
like right, exactly. And like Arsham, like that's a crazy thing to have happened, and people should talk about it, but it doesn't like affect their daily life afterwards. So yeah.
Well, he went on to talk about Blade. So
he did.
Blade has been taken off the calendar, but the project remains in development still, with Mahershala Ali still attached. This movie was announced in 2019 in Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. But, he revealed that there were 4 versions of Blade in the works. 2 of them were period pieces, one set in the 1930s. Apparently, he did actually have conversations with Ryan Coogler when he was working on Sinners and like having them like test out with like costumes and stuff.
Well, some of the costumes in Sinners was like they literally bought them from Marvel from the Blade set that they were going to shoot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty wild. I mean, like that was very. They had made costumes for that movie, and then they were like, no, we're gonna go a different direction.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean that is what you have to do to a certain degree. I mean, sure. I wonder if which costumes they would have been. Like, I wonder if like Slim, I think maybe it was Slim who was wearing oh my god, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
I know.
Go tonight.
It's on HBO, isn't it?
Yeah, go watch it.
Okay.
Do yourself a favor. It's so good.
Yeah.
But they landed on modern day, and that's what they're going to focus on, which personally, I think I don't know. I love a good period piece.
Yeah.
But then you kind of like are assuming that he's like, he doesn't age, which like maybe
he's half vampire,
but he's still like partially human.
Right.
I know he's half vampire, but it's like you would still expect him to age. So I enjoy the fact that like it'll be modern day. Like I like part of what was so cool about the first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes is like he goes to the blood rave and it's very 2000s or very 90s, and it's kind of interesting to see that. And they were saying, we had the 2 filmmakers. We didn't want to put a leather outfit on Ollie and have him just start killing vampires, which would have just been essentially basically following the Wesley Snipes
which isn't
movies.
A bad formula to like go to, like,
I know, but
you don't need a crazy script for this.
I know it is so interesting. It's going to be such an event when this movie.
Oh my gosh!
It's either going to be such a nothing or it'll be such a big event when this movie like finally gets a trailer.
Yeah, because like it's not going to come out probably. I'm going to guess until like 2027. I'm gonna say 2028 realistically, right? So we'll have waited 9 years for this movie, and it does. I mean, like I know Mahershala Ali like recently was like, "Hey, ask Marvel. I'm ready to shoot." And so that's a good sign. But like, is he going to want to wait another 3 years? I don't know. I just don't.
I don't
see
know.
that.
I mean, I think he was like 40 or 45 when he was cast. So I just don't know how much longer you can go.
Yeah. I'm looking up his age now.
And then the one last thing is that there's no immediate, like they're not, making it
he's 51
priority at the moment to make like a, so he's like 45. Okay. So like,
good grief.
Crazy. But there's no immediate plans or like a sense of urgency to make a sequel to Deadpool, like another Deadpool movie is kind of the other thing.
Well, but they did say like they've been in talks and like that Ryan Reynolds has plans, right? I mean,
but they were saying like there's no like urgent, they don't feel like there's this urgent need to like to get anything.
But I think in a sense there should be, because like you're gonna introduce the new X-Men, right? And like realistically, another Deadpool movie doesn't come out until after the X-Men movie. And so you're gonna bring back Hugh Jackman because like apparently like that's in Ryan Reynolds' plans. And so you're gonna like bring back Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know. I think there's like almost confusion there. And I think if you bring back like Hugh Jackman after an X-Men movie's been like released with a new Wolverine, I think you're just like asking for people to hate the new Wolverine.
If they do this reset in a way that really works, and a Deadpool movie where Wolverine is a new Wolverine and he has to get used to this new Wolverine could be cool.
Funny. That'd be really funny. Yeah. But I think those two guys are like best friends, right? And I think it would be like, I think he would want to do the movie with his best friend.
That will be interesting to see. I mean, I think that, I hate to say it, as much as Deadpool does make like a ton of money.
Yeah.
I think that they would say no to like having Hugh Jackman coming back.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think that if that was the last Deadpool movie, I think they would be fine with that.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I don't think that's the case personally.
Right.
But
I mean, there was even reports at one point that like Ryan Reynolds was like, I don't even need like Deadpool to be like to have another like solo movie. I think from here on out, he could be like appearing in other movies as like a part of the team or something, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm down for that. That's fun. You know, he's just a comedic presence in the universe. That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, those were kind of the main things that I wanted to talk about from this interview. Really appreciate that they are making fewer movies and TV shows a year. They're trying to focus on quality again, and that they are trying to make them for less money than they had been, because there's only so much money can buy you. I mean, and there's only so much that as much as like Fantastic Four was one of the most visually stunning Marvel movies that I've seen, that still doesn't make a movie. So Agreed. Like with and the VFX of Quantumania, I mean, oh my god, I mean, if you wanna really hate your life, watch Quantumania.
Watch Quantumania, absolutely. Yeah.
What a eyesore of a movie.
It's genuinely like their worst written movie and their worst visually looking movie, which is crazy, which is just insane. But I think what's really interesting, I don't know if it was in the interview or not, but like he apparently went to Gareth Edwards, who had made The Creator for like 80 million or something like that, and was like, got advice from him on how to like get production costs lower and still have a beautiful looking movie.
Smart.
Definitely smart. I'm a little surprised that like Kevin Feige needed to get advice from a director when he's like a production head, Well,
I would say like, whenever somebody, figures out how to do something well, you would be an idiot not to ask them. And you should always be of like a learning mindset. How do I get that's why you're the production head. That should be your job, is to learn how to do things better. And there's people who are constantly doing things that are like, how did you do that? How, like, we all went, what, like, because I think, like, you look at Gareth Edwards and you're like, how the fuck did you make that happen? Well, this and this and this. I would have never thought about that. Thank you for enlightening me. Like, I don't know. I think I think it's definitely smart. I was just a little surprised. If you're like, I know how to make movies, I'm not going to ask him for anything. Like, I'm not saying that there's anybody out there who's doing that, but maybe there's somebody out there doing that. I'm sure there are. Who's got the massive ego that they feel like they can do whatever they want. And luckily that's not Kevin Feige. So hopefully, this 7-year plan is good. Hopefully he can stick to it. Hopefully the soft reboot works. I mean, that's just a 2032. He'll have been doing the MCU at that point for 24 years. I mean, I can't even think about, like, what would you even have? Like, what movies would you be getting, into 2032? I think you're probably still running with the X-Men. For sure. That's only 5 years prior, in a sense, or maybe actually 4 years prior. Because isn't Secret Wars coming out December 2027? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'd be 2028 for X-Men. See, I don't know. It just depends on what they stick with after Secret Wars is over. Like, who is left after that movie? I don't know. Maybe they keep going with Spider-Man. Maybe they do Spider-Man 6 in 2032 and Miles Morales finally comes. I don't know. Spider-Man 6. Yeah, I don't know. But how much you want to bet that there's before 2032 or in the year 2032 there's a new, like, Iron Man movie? Like, that's the last part of his plan, is to, like, recast Iron Man. Maybe. I mean, that'd be like the boldest move he could probably make at the moment, is recasting, like, the most iconic hero in his gallery. Yeah. So hopefully his plans are ambitious and equally amazing. So we'll just have to wait and see, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait and see. I think that's all we had to discuss today with you guys. So thank you for watching and listening, whichever platform you were on. If you want to support us in the future, we release these episodes bi-weekly and reviews weekly. And if you want to give us a like, a comment, a rating, a review, or a subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it. Until next time.